I will try to get through some prepared remarks, or scrawled remarks, and then I'm happy, obviously, to elaborate on them. But as befits a talk at the Center for Ethics, I thought I would actually talk about what I see to be 4 ethical dimensions of where we're at now, where we've been for some time on this issue, sort of political ethics. And I want to start with the Liberal Party's electoral reform promise, so everybody knows. It reads as follows: we will make every vote count. We are committed to ensuring that 2015 will be the last federal election conducted under the first-past-the-post voting system. We will convene an all-party parliamentary committee to review a wide variety of reforms such as ranked ballots, proportional representation, mandatory voting, and online voting, which is exactly the committee that Mr. Sahota served on. And then this committee will deliver its recommendations, which happened, to Parliament, and then within 18 months of forming government, we will introduce legislation to enact electoral reform, which puts them in mid-May, because it's 18 months from October 19th, 2015. So that situates us. And I wanted to talk about, having been in the middle of this kind of process and knowing what kinds of tensions arise when one is trying to both do good and be real. The 4 ethical dimensions are ethics of promise making, ethics of language appropriation / spin, ethics of political positioning, and ethics of decision. So in the ethics of promise, I think it's important to just, I don't think we ask this question enough, and we don't have clear enough answers as a political culture. What is the moral status of electoral platform promises in the real world of politics? So I wrote a couple pieces in Rabble on this about 6 months ago, and it's not something I have clear answers on, but we can distinguish between broken promises, which is the promise was made sincerely and it's been broken. What reasons and circumstances can be given for that? Secondly, false promises, promises not intended to be kept at all. And then thirdly, deceptive promises, which may be partly what we're dealing with here, maybe not. Promises that could be written, for example, so people read or hear X, even when, in a lawyer-like way, if you read it, it actually says Y. Or promises that are double-voiced, where Group 1 hears one promise and Group 2 hears another, okay? So I just want to set that up as a kind of we have to think about what kind of promises we're dealing with. Secondly, ethics of appropriation or spin. So let me trace a quick history for you of the phrase, make every vote count, to show its general use throughout recent Canadian political and even academic history to refer to proportional representation, whatever family or form of proportional representation. You can go back to 1999, a book by Henry Milner called Making Every Vote Count as a kind of a starting point. Around 2000, the group Fair Vote Canada was formed, and it became their motto or slogan, literally, make every vote count, and their only raison d'etre is proportional representation. When I was Democratic Reform critic, a tour across the country for a good 18 months, and a campaign that really went along with it, to try to get Canadians interested in the lead up to the election so that when we promised what we were going to promise, that people would know what we were talking about and we'd have a sense whether people were there and ready for PR. And we titled the whole campaign, Make Every Vote Count. And then we have the Liberal campaign promise. The top line, as I just read to you, we will make every vote count.